What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Snapshot, I have gotten so many questions about how to build the Glaive Prime, especially after all of the dual wielding stuff, so I figured we would go ahead and tackle that today. Now, as with all primed weapons, I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys a link in the description box below that contains all of its drop locations / relics, because as you know, things get vaulted and unvaulted, and personally, I can't keep on top of all of that, and y'all know I would forget to update this shit. Just do keep in mind that with its recent buffs, it does have a Master You rank 10 requirement to craft. Now, with the recent buffs to thrown weapons, the Glaive Prime got a significant boost in its usability. Both its status and critical chance got boosted up by 10%, and its critical multiplier got a nice bump from 1.5 up to a 2x critical damage multiplier, making it feasible for a hybrid status and crit build. It even got a 5-point increase to its base damage and a knockdown added to its recall discharge, which can either be triggered manually whilst wielding it proper or hitting your melee button again when dual wielding with a pistol. So jumping right into our first build, as you can see, this is a throwing based setup. Now, I need to stress that because I know a lot of people are gonna be like, wait, you're missing this mod and this mod and this mod. Trust me, it's just for throwing. I need to stress that for you guys. It's just a throwing setup, okay? Keep that in mind when I'm talking about this one. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are big fans of like all of the cool ricochets and bouncing off walls and going around these corners and doing all this shit and hitting multiple enemies like with crazy pathing. That's fantastic. If that's what you like, you do that. However, I am a much simpler person. I just want my glaive to go out, puncture through some enemies, and then come on back. I need it to be simple. I want to know where everything is going, okay? I don't need to like wait 5 minutes for my glaive to return because it decided to go off and like take a trip to Paris or some bullshit. I just want simplicity. However, that does also tie in with some of the other mechanics that go along with it, but that's why I use power throw for the punch through and quick return to bring it on back real quick. Now, as you guys know, the Glaive also got a nice boost to its status chance, so we're taking advantage of that with a couple status elemental mods, as well as condition overload. And this actually works with a mechanic that I don't know how long it's been on the Glaive. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I've not used the Glaive in quite a long time. But as soon as I was like doing my research, you know, because you always gotta kind of double, triple check, make sure all your shit's right. But as I was looking through, I was like, oh, like, that's why it's doing so well. So for those of you guys who don't know, throwing the Glaive will actually always result in an impact proc and a slash proc. Impact, not puncture. Yes, impact is the hammer. So you're always going to get those two procs, so when you've got your power throw going and it comes back to you in that line, you're going to hit him once, smack them with the procs, and then you have a chance at condition overload kind of pumping your ass up when it comes back with the quick return. So that's kind of like, I was like, oh, that's why I like the consistent pathing, and I like the combination with condition overload. Now, some people are going to be out there and going to be like, well, you know, where's body count and blood rush, and, you know, is drifting contact? Just be aware that those do not affect throws. Your throws do not add to the melee combo counter. And as far as I've play tested, and I've been like, you know, I've been observing it all morning, and I've kind of been like looking at numbers and all that kind of stuff, it does not seem like the melee combo multiplier actually applies to your throws. Only your throw itself, and then the power charged up throw that I'm still trying to master. Now, if you want to use this just on a wielding thing, you know, a solo wield, so sword alone, no pistol in hand, the only thing that I would probably change out is I would probably take out Volcanic Edge and probably toss on a Life Strike. Because I'm going to be completely honest with you, Life Strike actually works really fucking fantastic with this thing, as you can just throw it out in midair and channel it, and you can get some health back from that without actually having to get too close to enemies. So, you know, that's a nice little trick if you're trying to use it to gain health returns, but if not, if you've got a Warframe that can actually get its health back on its own and not really have to worry about that Holo Blue, I would probably keep it pretty much the same. So, let's go ahead and see how this performs on our friendly neighborhood Billy. Let's toss out one of those real quick, and I'm gonna try to get some power throws in. I'm really bad at it, but what you can do is you can actually call it back pretty quick, as you can see there. And as you can see, those slash procs are doing some real work, and the power throws, you gotta wait just right for the little bars to open, but as you can see, those procs are just bypassing that armor big time, and it's dealing a good chunk of damage. And think about kind of like laying that out, maybe if you've got Condemn, or if you've got your, what is it called, Pocket Sand. I can't remember I don't remember the names of abilities. I just remember what they do sometimes. But yeah, if you combine that with kind of like a nice CC ability, or even with like Loki's radial disarm and kind of bunching up those enemies all at once, it's definitely a nice way to inflict them with a lot of status at once. And as you can see, all of that slash that bypasses, it's pretty fucking fantastic. Am I using, maybe I should be using viral on this. Why am I not using viral? We're gonna swap it out real quick. Let's go ahead. We're doing some live magic here on the channel. Let's go ahead. I actually have viral on the other build, but now I'm kind of thinking in my head, I was like, maybe I should just be using viral on this shit. I mean, we've got that guaranteed slash proc, right? So don't judge me. I made a last second call. So this way, no, this was actually me just plotting. I was like, I'm gonna show you how it works with corrosive, but now I'm gonna show you how it works with viral as well. It's really not, but I don't know. I feel like maybe viral isn't doing as much magic as I would like. I haven't actually seen a viral proc go off yet. So there you go. Now we've got a viral proc, you know, after the enemy's already almost dead. So I guess, you know, corrosive versus viral, it's really up to you the way that you want to work it. However, it performs a lot better than I thought it would. Like initially when I was like, oh, the throwing build is gonna suck. But with that guaranteed slash proc, it's definitely kind of nice. Ooh, we got 3 statuses on at once. Condition overload is going to do some nice. Oh, okay. Maybe you want to use it with the viral. Maybe you go use this with the, like, ignore the whole first thing where I showed you with like the corrosive stuff. Just do the viral. It works nice when it works, right? Just so that you know. So now we're moving along to our melee based build, and as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a hybrid setup. So I am running Blood Rush and Drifting Contact on this to kind of pump up the crit stat just a little bit. We also have Organ Shatter in there to take advantage of the new melee multiplier that they've buffed up. However, if you are going to run this with, what I was gonna say, with just a pure melee setup, I might change out Organ Shatter for Life Strike or not Condition Overload. The one that, like, Healing Return, there you go. Like one of those two, just to kind of get some health back, because I always am cognizant of the fact that if you're going to be up close and personal with enemies, especially with this kind of weapon, you want to be able to get your health back in some way, shape, or form. However, again, if you've got a Warframe that can heal itself and has some good self-sustain, you probably don't have to touch anything on this, alright? Alright, so we pulled out yet another Billy who is happily sacrificing his life for the sake of this demonstration. And yes, this time we are using viral, and as you can see, it absolutely massacres. I was using, okay, just in my defense, viral was already on this build initially, so don't judge me. I see you out there trying to read me, but I'm just saying, like, listen, the viral was already on this to begin with because of the high base slash. And that's the great thing about this, because of the fact that we've got so much status on it, and it is a slash based melee weapon because of the fact that oh my god, it just blows up the poor Billy. I'm so sorry, Billy. I wish I could be gentle. One of these days, I'm just gonna take you home and I'm just gonna stroke your hair and I'm just gonna be like, it's okay, it's over now. Billy in retirement. I think I just killed that Billy by accident. No, he's still there. Still there. Good job, Billy. I'm glad you survived my jumping antics. But yeah, the Glaive Prime is an absolute beast when it comes to, even if it's just throwing or melee, either one, it's really fucking good at both. So it's definitely something that you should pick up. And when they changed it up to a Mastery Rank 10 requirement, at first I was like, meh. But then after seeing how it performs, I was kind of like, yeah, that's Mastery Rank 10 right there. So all in all, the Glaive Prime is absolutely fucking fantastic, and even more so after I did a little bit of research. And you know, that's kind of like a key. I want to put that out there into the universe. I don't think that I'm better than anyone else. However, I will take the time to go out and do research, and that's what makes you better than other people, is when you don't just talk out your ass, but you actually sit there and you do some research on the weapons themselves to make sure, and you do some playtesting like this to kind of show off the fact that, oh my god, I didn't think it was gonna be this good, but it's kind of amazing. And because of the fact that it can perform quite well as a thrown weapon, and also and even more incredibly as a melee weapon. You know, I'm just putting that out there. Sometimes I just want to throw the thing. Sometimes I want to melee with the thing. And because of the fact that the Glaive Prime gives you both options and is pretty effective at both, I understand that, you know, throwing it does take a little bit of time, and I understand you could probably substitute out Whirlwind for maybe like the heat mod that I'd put in there, but you know, there's options for everybody. actually. Just putting that out into the universe in case you want to play around with that. But yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Something you guys should definitely check out if you haven't already. Go ahead and grab those parts, put it together if you're looking for a really good thrown weapon. Because the other ones I kind of looked at and I was like, they're good, but not like Glaive Prime good. I might be wrong. I'm gonna do more research before I finalize that option. Regardless, those are the facts and figures. Stick around a little bit longer if you want to see some gameplay. Alright, can I just tell you how happy I am that this is a thing? And I'm gonna be, like, if I'm gonna be real with you, when I saw that they were, like, gonna do throwing weapons for this, I was really not all that excited. I was like, oh, okay, throwing weapons. They're kind of, like, not that fantastic, you know? I looked at them and I was like, throwing weapons, they're alright. And then they went ahead and they did the buffs and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to really make throwing weapons a thing. But legitimately, like, after kind of like playtesting and seeing, they're not half bad now. They're actually pretty gosh darn good, and I am a big fan of the Glaive Prime. I'd been a big fan of the Glaive Prime before, but it was admittedly like one of those weapons that I was like, oh, this is a fun weapon. This is not like one of those weapons that is actually technically effective. Like, you know, there are better weapons out there, and you know what, at the end of the day, there's always going to be a better weapon out there. There's always going to be weapons that, you know, perform really well on certain things. It all just kind of comes down to if it's feasible. And I think that's one of the big things that we need to kind of like be cognizant of, is that, yeah, there is definitely weapons out there that are like optimal weapons, yada yada yada, but let's be real, all of the power creep bullshit. So if you guys don't know what power creep actually means, it means that it's so powerful that it makes other things obsolete. Now, if we let's look at this group itself, though. A lot of people would argue that things like you know, the Galatine Prime is power creep. It's so powerful, yada yada yada, this and that. The Tigris Prime is like the best gun in the game. It can annihilate weapons. Yeah, and that's the thing. Warframe has never been a game about just using one specific weapon to win everything. Like, that's just not like the way that our communities behave. It's very much like, okay, let's play what's good, but let's play what's good and what's fun. And that's why for me, I got really excited when I was like, oh, holy shit, the Glaive Prime is like fucking murdering them. Especially now that we have the power throw thing, which I'm still trying to master myself. I just viraled myself now. No, that's not good. But yeah, no, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, it's effective, and yet it's also fun. You know what I mean? You have the option of just chucking it, and if you're really good, getting the power throws off, and hopefully not completely fucking yourself over with a ginormous slash proc. But hey, you know what? That's what makes this game fun. That's what makes this game entertaining. And that's kind of like why I am such, like, you know, why I'm such a big fan of... Ooh, some just whacked me. Listen, be nice. Be nice. But no, again, that's why I'm kind of like a big fan of the Glaive Prime. Like, back in the day, it was just a really fun weapon to use, and I kind of, like, okay, y'all saw how it performed with Holo, right? Think of how it performs with a stealth frame. Think of, like, all of these slash procs that came out of it with a stealth multiplier attached. Now, usually I don't like, you know, I don't like showing that kind of stuff off on the channel, mainly because of the fact that, you know, they're gonna be like, well, it's only good because you have it with stealth. So part of me is like, all right, let me show you without stealth. Let me show you how the testing goes without any kind of like super like frame specific things, you know, just kind of keeping an enemy static in place. Let me just show you how it performs on its own. But, you know, instead of having the stealth bonus, I'm like, you can just imagine how the 4x stealth melee multiplier works with that in the slash procs, because that's absolutely insanity. I mean, it would have been even more powerful. But yeah, so it's kind of like nice to see a weapon that, you know, was kind of, for me at least, known as kind of like a for fun weapon. You know, I didn't really pay attention to it other than the fact that, oh, I find this entertaining to use. But yeah, having it now and being able to actually throw it and it be feasible. And that's one of the big things, is throwing this weapon wasn't really feasible before. It was just okay. Like, it was, listen, listen, they should just let me. Oh, look at those headshots though. Oh, and that's one of the reasons why I love this weapon so much. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but at the same time, you can really deal some hefty damage with it, especially after the buffs now. And I know that the way that I use it isn't super like ricochet and bouncing off wallsy, and it doesn't, you know, seem as fun and as you know, as cool as, like, you know, all of the visuals would have you see. But it does the job, and as you can see, it makes work of crowds, and that's kind of like why I like it too. That's kind of why I like it too as a secondary weapon for a pistol, because with a lot of pistols I tend to stay away from the explosive ones, because y'all know that shit gets me killed so bad. I die so bad. Y'all know I die so bad with those kind of things. So it's not even the Glaive Prime. I can't escape. I can't escape fucking it up with the Glaive Prime too. But it's definitely nice to kind of have something that can clear a crowd, or it can at least place a dot on a crowd to like weaken up the crowd a little bit and make them a little bit easier for you to wade through. But it's a nice combination for both. The one thing that I do have to point out, which I'm not sure if I don't know if anybody's like stated this before, but you can't do ground attacks with this thing. Sorry. Like I said, I like having fun with my weapons. But no, you can't do the typical like ground slams with this anymore. That's not a thing you can do with this. However, what you can do is you can throw it at the ground and have it explode and have yourself get really, really hurt. you can do that. That's a thing that's totally feasible for you to do. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it's a thing that happens. Yeah, so for anybody who's like out there trying to do ground slams, just know it's not a thing, and know that it's probably not a great idea for you to try and do it. There's also, like, I wonder too, because now that we have the ribbons now, is if we could get like a negative flight speed buff on this thing and make it go so slow that you could almost kind of like have it chase you around. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean? Like get a really, really slow ribbon mod and just run around in a trail and have it follow you as it like tries to path back to you. That's almost kind of cruel. I almost feel bad for the Glaive, like telling it, oh, you're gonna have to chase me back, but you never know. That could be a really cool meta. So if anybody gets a ribbon that has negative flight speed on it for the Glaive, let me know if that's a thing that you can do, because I would find that extremely, extremely hilarious. Oh my god. So I think that pretty much brings this like whole video to an end. Let me know if you guys have the Glaive Prime, if you guys have been playing around with it, if you have that ribbon. I'm gonna stress that to you because it's a fun little thing that I'm quite enjoying. Let me know your experiences. If you've played around with any of the other thrown weapons, let me know if you guys have done that too, just to see, kind of like take the temperature. I played around with the Serrata a little bit earlier in the Orvius. I liked how the Glaive Prime performed a bit better than the rest of them, but that's just my preference. Let me know if you guys have any specific preferences when it comes down to your throwing weapon arsenal. But that pretty much does it for me. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. I've said that maybe 5 times, so as always, I'm gonna let you guys go now and love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.